Hi boys and girls, it's me Butch. My name is Terry, David Silvercloud. I'm not native, it just sounds that way. I'm 81 years old. Today is, I forgot, I think the 14th or 15th of December, Wednesday. Excuse me. So we're getting a bit of sun, and I'm taking advantage of that to see what the lighting would be like, making another video, and testing out, trying to make my sound a bit better. I don't have much to attach the wireless mics to, and so I'm trying a couple different things here. So I'm going to talk to you about belonging, sense of belonging. We all want to belong, one way or another. I'm quite reclusive, so it doesn't bother me so much. Mostly I just miss my boyfriend. I'm going to get around to this. My boyfriend, Mark, he's been dead for maybe 2 years. But, you know, I'm 81 now, and mostly I just spend my time trying to spread my ideas in physics. The idea that electrons are composed of tachyons, and that electrons set the speed of light by their half spin, and that the tachyons move at 4/3 pi c cubed. See, I got something in there for the nerds. The nerds might get it. I have to cough again, I'm sorry. Smoking too much pot, I guess. I have been smoking too much because this is a second take. I mean, well, I don't know if it's a second take or not. We'll see how it goes. I screwed it up just a while ago, so I smoked some more pot, and here I'm doing it again. What were I talking about? So belonging, so Butch, just because of the way his life went, he was a nerd, and circumstances sort of meant that he wasn't very often part of groups. It just didn't happen. We moved so much, I didn't have a chance, and it just didn't work out. And when you're in some kind of environments, one school I was in, being the smart kid in the class doesn't necessarily win you accolades, unfortunately. One more time. Nevertheless, when I was fairly young, I got to be part of a group because I joined Sea Scouts, and when I was about 14, most of the older scouts turned 18 and had to leave, and there was a whole host of young ones like me, and the troop leaders, the adult males who ran the troop, advised me that I was now a patrol leader. So I didn't have to make friends. They were given to me. I was literally told to go pick out 6 other guys or so, and they're going to be your patrol, and make one of them your seconder. So that's exactly what I did. I picked out a guy almost instantly who I wanted to be my seconder. He was a couple years younger than me, and then I picked out another bunch of guys, and we became a patrol. And eventually, because I joined the reserves, I couldn't always attend, and I got the seconder to be we switched jobs because I couldn't always be there for the troop meeting. Anyhow, I got used to at a very early age being a leader. And then I joined the Navy. I was in Navy Reserves, but then I joined the regular forces and went to officer school in Esquimalt, British Columbia. And the officer school there was designed primarily for training pilots to be officers. Because if you're going to be a pilot, you have to be an officer. That's just the way it works. But they were also training other guys like me directly out of high school to be officers. They were short on officers, so they just were looking for really smart boys, which was one of them. And they said, come with us, boy, we're going to turn you into an officer. And they did. I have to cough again, hang on. It's a pot. Don't worry, but to make this story short, because I'm babble on and on, I'm an ADHD type, the training facility had a very large parade square with 3 buildings, 3 major buildings, and 2 two on one of the long sides and one on the end. The building on the end of this large area, which was the parade square. When we were junior cadets, we had to run it. We could not march anywhere. No matter where we were going, we had to run, jog everywhere. And we were not allowed to go across the parade square. You had to go around it. Even if the shortest distance was there, you had to jog around it. You were not allowed to be on the parade square unless it was official. Anyhow, see what ADHD people do, the memory comes back. So, what I wanted to tell you about this experience was that that building, which held the lounge and the cafeteria and school classrooms and stuff like that, had a big sign above the entrance door, and the sign said, "Follow me. Follow me." So that was sort of instilled into me, and later on, sort of further on towards the end of our training, it was a one-year crash course to turn me into an officer. I still had to learn how to drive a ship, and that came next. So they sent me to a ship to learn how to drive a ship. But part of that was when the last sort of third or so of our training, I was made a cadet captain. Again, even if I wasn't really that great at socializing, if you're the boss, you're immediately you're all part of it. You're setting the tone for absolutely everything. And when I was an adult, I got into playing adult hockey because I didn't have a chance as a kid. And it turned out I joined a huge league in Toronto, which you could start as a beginner. You didn't have to know, even if you didn't know how to skate, you could still join it. Anyhow, you were assigned a team, and my team, we're just a bunch of strangers meeting, and we're going to start as a team, sort of beginner level. At least that's the idea. You had to pick a captain. They picked the oldest guy, and it was me. They loved me. But immediately I had a group, and I was in touch with everybody on the team every week. Because I was, you're going to be the captain, it's going to come with some work, and I had to, during hockey season, pretty much phone every single person on my team once a week to give them a scoop on when we might be practicing, or just when the game was on, just stuff like that. So I talked to each individual team member briefly, at least once a week during our hockey season. Where we go with all that. You need self-confidence to be a leader, and so I started gaining it early. And you don't have to worry about whether you're weird or not. Nobody really cares, Most people are more worried about how they appear than what you appear. And if you just take charge, people will think you are in charge. Act like you're in charge, and people will think you are. So self-confidence can sometimes take a while. You may not be happy about your appearance, either for many reasons. The most obvious one is you think you're not attractive enough, but you've got to make do with what you've got. And if you're overweight and you care and you think, well, that's a detriment to you somehow, then work on becoming less weighty. And remember, there's different body types. If you were born with very, very wide hips, when you get to be in your 30s, 40s, those wide hips were already fairly wide, and when you start packing on some pounds, you might get to be a pretty big boy. The point I'm trying to make there is you can only lose so much, so assess what kind of body you have and what you want to be. Butch is vain, and he always liked looking good. I'm overcoming my vanity by appearing with, still have some sores on my body from my hormone issues, but I don't have much time left because I could die of a stroke at any time. But Butch likes to use his, I can't say I like it, but Butch likes to use his dumbbells every single day, these days particularly. When I was younger in my studio, I kept a barbell, And I tried to push that 2 or 3 times a week, a few times, or lift it. Mostly, especially in my old age, because my knees are shot, I want to keep my shoulders and my upper arms strong, just so I can stand up and lift myself up. Plus, it keeps the, try not to bang into the microphone here. Hang on. You gotta move you, Mr. Microphone, over there. What was I talking about? I don't want the skin to get saggy in my arms, just because I'm vain. But you gotta want it. The drag about looking good. The really bad news. Are you ready for it? It's work. I'll say it once again. Sorry, boys and girls. It's work. You gotta want it. No pain, no gain. That's the way it is. So Butchie Poo wants it because he's vain, and that's just always the way he was. As terms of smart, apparently everybody tells me I'm a pretty smart guy, so I'm not going to go on kind of boast about it or anything, but I am a pretty smart guy. Not all of us are born either with whatever works up there. I don't know what it is. It's not just that, but no matter with what you are born, you may not have been exposed to the right teaching or upbringing or knowledge. It's not that you're dumb or anything. You would be what's called ignorant. You say, I'm not ignorant. Ignorant's not a bad word. We're all ignorant. I'm ignorant. I don't even know what I don't know, and since I've had a stroke, I'm forgetting things. Ignorance is just not knowing something, that's all. It's not stupidity or anything. It's just, you're not dumb, you just don't know what you don't know. And Itchy knows, how embarrassing. Oh wait, great time for an Itchy nose. Where were I? See, I was supposed to keep track of how long this was, so now I guess I should not worry about it. I'm trying to keep things under 15 minutes for some reasons you don't need to worry about or care about. Mostly I'm trying to improve my sound and be entertaining, be educational, try to inspire you in some way, whatever way. Like I said, I'm 81, I've always tried to push my ideas. This thing here, this is a model which says helium looks like at the point of condensation from a gas to a liquid, not with the red tape. This model's 25 years old. It broke, so I didn't have any more silver tape. So Butch says, well, that's kind of cool, eh? Butch says that Butch has a definition for solids, liquids, and gases. I have to throw some science in here somewhere. The nerds will get it. There isn't any you'll just have to take my word for it. There is no really good explanation for what makes a solid, a liquid, a gas, a gas. If you look it up, you'll find they'll tell you in solids the atoms are closer together, and they just get further apart in liquids and further apart in gases. And that begs the question of what about styrofoam? Tell me about that. How does that work? So there is sort of an explanation around that. I'm just being a bit glib there. Some of the chemists will say, well, really. But the point I'm trying to make is within the world of chemistry, physics, science in general, that's the definition you're going to get for solids, liquids, and gases. So Butch says, which is Butch, he's going to tell you what's what. A solid is defined by having, grab one of my models over here. Are you still with me, boys and girls, my cameras? A solid is defined by having vertices, these pointy things on the end here, and flattish surfaces electronically. This would be some sort of crystal of some sort as a solid. Now, it could be made of multiple different kinds of atoms, but there will be some atom somewhere, some single atom that which says will have this particular shape even. That's not important right here. The important point is which says solids have pointy parts. And he says that liquids are always spheroids. They don't have to be perfect spheres of any sort. But they'll be spheroids. They could be wobbly like a balloon with water in it. That's still a spheroid. There's no pointy parts anywhere. So a spheroid could have a whole bunch of lumpy parts around it. That still qualifies as a spheroid, as long as there are no flat surfaces electronically. Everything's electronic, and I can't get into that. And we think it's solid, but don't worry about that. But electronically, it has flat surfaces and vertices, and liquids don't have none of that. Now, what happens with a liquid when it's chilly? It just shrinks. It's smaller and smaller and smaller. The actual molecule or atom of whatever it is, whether it's an atom or a molecule, other than water, that's another story. Let's not get into that. Water expands, it's cold, but that's because it's made of two different atoms. But generally speaking, when things get cold, they shrink. Just like, you know what I'm talking about. They shrink down when it gets cold. But it was cold out! So what happens is everything spins in reality, and it can spin right or it can spin left. There is no up or down, but there is a right or a left spin relative to other right and left spins. And if something gains energy and it starts spinning faster and faster and faster, and remember it's a liquid, by some guess or by golly, it's flexible. Remember I said it can have lumps on it. But as it spins, what will happen is the poles will start to flatten down and the equator will get wider and wider. And at some point, the only way the liquid can absorb more energy, and it'll be longer wave energy, is to get bigger. And it'll develop a hole, just like that little tiny hole in there, in one end. This one doesn't have a hole in it, but pretend it does. And eventually it'll become donut shaped, a torus, and then more of them would be tori. So Bichipu says that solids have pointy part, liquids are bubbly, and gases are donuts. And what about slush and stuff? Well, if you squish any of them, those are the in-between whatever the previous shape was, which would be some slushy version of one or the other. And Butch says that what happens sometime, somewhere, and he doesn't say it happens in stars, which it does, two hydrogen atoms, hydrogen can come in left spinning donuts or right spinning donuts. So two of those things look at each other and say, we could spin together. If I spin this way and you spin that way, you'll live, and they do, and somehow they got joined together, which says this is helium. What it look like at the point, and see how they're tightly bound together. They're trying to shrink further, just like your boys are as it's getting cold out. You know how they want to get smaller and smaller. So does this, and at some point it can't get any smaller. It's just like, ouch, that's not hurt. And if it could, Butch said, if I was doing it, I would have thought out one of my models. It'll turn into a thing called a gyro-bifastigium. That's Johnson solid J26. The gyro means it turns bi, there's two of them, fastigium. Solid, I can't remember. So Butch says that the helium would become a gyro-bifastigium. And if you could start the universe, which you can't, because it always was, but if the universe froze, which it can't, then it would just be stacked gyro-bifastigii, top to bottom, wall to each, left to right. There's very few shapes that can tile the universe, and one of them is a pup tent shape, which is when I had a stroke, so words are failing me. It's a triangle. If you can imagine a pup tent where every side is exactly the same length, and it's triangular. There's squares on the side, but there's triangles on the end of the pup tent. You take two of them, but you rotate one 90 degrees, but join their bases together. That saves them energy because one was spinning right, one was spinning left. And if they put their butts together, they we're going to spin together. And in the South Pole, they think they're spinning the right way, just like in South America. In the North Pole, they think they're spinning the right way because they're up north. They're just spinning. But they would be gyro bifastigi. But the pup tents, those things can tile the universe. Whether they're gyros or not, they can still tile the universe. And there's very few shapes that can do that. So I forgot to check the time, of course, because I'm an idiot. It was supposed to be under 15 minutes. But I'm going to shoot it. I'm actually good. The microphone's on. So I'm testing this microphone to see how that sounds. And you guys there, I'm using your onboard microphone this time. You guys there, you don't count. Your microphone's on, but you used to back up so I try to synchronize the three tracks when I put you all in. I'm going to put you all into Open Broadcast Studio, OBS. It's freeware you can download to edit videos, or people that do streaming, you know, like where you want to while you're streaming, call up different cameras and things. And you can do all that using your computers, the control center using Open Broadcast Studio, which is what I'm using right now as you're watching this. That's because I want to put these three different cameras together in one video. And difficult as it may be, I'm going to try to do that. I have to have a drink. Oh my goodness. So what I gotta do is I have to wrap this up. I think I got some science in there.